Hello world! So, I was needing a little bit of a break from my regular work for a few minutes, so I thought I would play a little bit with the sound capabilities of this mini micro. I was actually looking at generating some sound effects with the BFXR program, but after doing some reading, I'm not sure that we need to. So, basically, if you look at the Miniscript wiki, you'll see that has some examples. It's like got the sound class, and it has some example code. Let's try running some of this example code. U equals new sound. Got to put a space in there. U init 0.3 seconds, 8,000 comma 100 in an array for the two frequencies. I think it's going to slide between those two frequencies. 1 comma 0 is an array for the volume, so the volume is going to go from 1 to 0 over 0.3 seconds. It gives us that object. So let's play that. So that is actually kind of neat. There's another example here. See what that does. That one is going to have a time of 1 second, frequency of, let's see, 100. The volume goes from 1 to 0, and it's going to use this noise wave as the waveform. And let's try playing that. So that's actually pretty neat that you can do things like that. If you go to this noise, let's see, the waveforms. There's a couple of different waveforms we can play with here. Like there's a triangle wave. Let's try substituting the triangle wave. And that's pretty interesting. I wanted to see what we can do with that. And I mean, I think it would be really interesting to, like, I had a video on this drum machine a couple days ago. Show you that again. So we have this drum machine. It's playing sound samples. It's loading in WAV files. You can attach them to these little tiles here, and it'll make music. And it kind of reminds me of an old mod tracker. I thought it might be fun to see what would it take to put together something that works a little bit more like a mod tracker, not a full-on mod tracker, but maybe something in the middle. Let's see. Now, one of my ideas here is based off of this inspector. See that it gives us some, opens up a dialog window, has buttons you can click and things you can scroll through. I wonder if we could start by creating a dialog window for generating that sound object. Maybe use that as a basis for a more thorough music generator. Let's take a look at this. It's clear everything. Let's look at this. So bring in the string util, text util, create a new dialog. We set a bunch of properties on it. try and get an idea of what's on this inspect dialog. But it actually might be more useful to go back to the textUtil. So here's our textUtil. So somewhere in here is a dialog. Here's our dialog class. Used to find simple message dialog, title, message, 3 buttons, creating dialog, dialog make. So looks like it's basically an alert dialog. And I'm going to spin up a second instance here. We're going to be working with a new program. We're just let's work with this tracker program. Try something different, just work in the built-in editor. Starting with the same base as the inspect dialog. Let's see, we have a dialog buttons. Let's see, dialog make, we'll make the dialog. I'm basically learning how this works as we go here. Oh, neat, there's a file dialog also. That I think I remember reading about that somewhere. Okay, so let's start by just seeing what it looks like if we open a dialog. Plain old dialog. We have to do anything else to show that dialog got show. Save, play. Well, dialog is undefined. Interesting. String util, text util. Just this thing. Oh, great. There it is. There's our little dialog with no K button. Okay, so let's try a simple case. We're going to, let's see, that's the file dialog. Jump back in our editor. Let's create our own dialog. And let's just start with the basic. Copy the built-in the super class. I could call super.make, but eventually we're going to replace all this in. So theoretically, I'll be able to do sound dialog.make and get that very same thing. So let's see that. Dialog is unknown. Back to our editor. We're going to make this easier on us. Dialog equals text.dialog. Dialog still not found in map on line 4 because it's textUtil. Dialog button is unknown. Let's do the same thing with dialog button. Okay, so same dialog, but now it's a sound dialog instead of a vanilla dialog. And there's definitions for a couple different buttons here. There's a dialog button, caption, visible, key. But then there's a couple of other buttons here. Visible is true. That's the only visible one. Let's see what's going on with that back in our textUtil. So it looks like there's default, alternate, and cancel buttons that just default to invisible. Let's make them visible by default just to see them. Find, no. Okay. Cancel button visible equals true. Okay, so let's take a look at that. Neat. So we have the alternate button and we have the cancel button. Let's say that the alt button is going to be our play button to play a sound. And it looks like each one is attached to a key. The return key, escape key. Let's attach the play button to a key. Or if that's cares if it's upper or lowercase. Let's find out. Alt button not found in map. Well, that's a problem. textUtil line 312. Okay. Let's see what's going on there. Button and buttons. So the default dialog draw button looks for an alternate button. I wonder if the inspect dialog uses that. There's only one button on this one, the escape, but that, it might have just kept the cancel and made the other two visible. Let's see, what was the path? I want to look at the inspect dialog again. See how the Alt button is being handled. And it is still there. And there's some extra buttons added. But the Alt button is just kept as Alt button. So, I'm just gonna let me do that. I'm just gonna keep that called Alt button. That will activate the button, but it won't actually. Well, we need to make it so actually the button actually does something. Button. We can see here. Enter point show the dialog. Now wait until we get a key shortcut or a valid. Click on a button. And then returns which button you hit. Just fine for our dialog. In our case, we don't necessarily want it to close. Okay, so we need to figure out how to get buttons that just do something without closing the dialog. Now we have 3 buttons here that are the default buttons, and each one of those buttons will return a button state. Try to get an idea of what's going on here. A lot going on. Okay, I think we need to just possibly make an. This is my first time working with these text buttons. I'm just gotta figure out how to attach an action. Okay. User 2. This one has a back button, so how does it handle the back button? Creating a new back button. All its little things. The X and Y coordinates. It gets drawn. And then there's a handle key function here that checks for the key and then will do something. Now what I think might be happening is we're just going to have to override everything. So I'm going to ignore the Alt button. We still need to keep it there so that default functions don't crash. So what we're going to do is figure out how to add a new button to this functionality. See what's responding to the dialog keys, which is files, select, make. I think we need to change this behavior here. I think. Oh, wait. Method subclasses can override to do special event processing. Those dialogues hit self.done equals true. That's what we need. We can handle mouse. Okay, I'm glad I found that. The handle key and the handle mouse are what we care about here. I think for this first iteration, we're just going to see if we can use a dialogue to play a sound. It isn't much, but it'll be a start. So that K looks like it's a key object. Sorry, I'm trying to figure out where to stop preview. I think it might be a built-in preview for the final dialogue, so I'm gonna leave that alone for now. think I seem to have lost my changes somewhere. It's actually a decent editor. I was wondering what it would be like to just stay in the built-in editor, and it's working fine. Those are dialogs itself that n equals true, which we're not doing in our case. Return true if the event was handled, false or no otherwise. Look for P, return true, otherwise return false. And then we are going to throw in a little sound sample here. So if you hit P, it should play the sound. I was expecting something more. Hold on. Play button, visible. I think we actually need to set the position also. Action visible key, and then you also have X and Y. Let's go ahead and do exactly what this dialog's doing. That's too exactly what the other dialog was doing. Let's use our variable name also while we're at it. Play. Height is not found in map. Interesting. Line 280 in textUtil. So let's see what line 280 says. 280 dialog.top. It's not actually what I expected to have break. Should be set as part of the make function. Just right. I think that the problem is it needs to be set before start placing buttons. And with alert dialog, the height is set dynamically based off of the number of lines in the message. So let's go ahead and hardcode that. Going to take our cue from the inspect dialog again. Content height. I wonder if that's part of the base class. Make, and then you can see it's setting the height pretty early on. The rows are, let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right, 1. Yeah, we'll just scroll up. So 1 to 22. There's about 24, 25 lines. And I just realized this isn't quite right. I think that is more right. Okay, let's see what we got. Still saying this is my message, and there's no changes, which is starting to make me feel ignored. Disabled that. That'll be a good start. Oh, cool. So it's bigger now. That's a good start. It's not showing our button, but will it do the handle key? Let's find out. Go. You have to hold Shift key, which is not what I wanted, but it is playing the sound. But I want a button. That lowercase p. And let's look at the inspect dialog again. Actually, okay. How is back button getting rendered? Back button draw happens in draw content. Does it happen anyplace else? Nope. Where does draw content happen? It just happens. So is it part of textUtil? Yes, it is. Another internal hook function used to draw the content of the given range of rows and columns. Okay. That means we can override it. I'm still not sure what value info is yet, so may or may not come. That might just be part of the inspect dialog. Now it looks like we just do a here. Looks like we should be able to just override the function for our class. I'm not sure we need any of this. And that we should just need to draw our play button like that. Okay. Well, there's the play button. Doesn't do anything, but you know, it's there. So how do we bring that button to life? So handle mouse is doing some work with it also. Going to borrow this whole chunk. So it needs to return false if nothing happens. Now what's going on here? Wait, where's this H index? I think that has to do with scrolling, which we don't need yet. And, that's closer. Color's wrong, and the button's not doing anything, but you can click it. Go back to where it is drawing the content. You can see that it's setting a text color here. What if we do that too? Well, it's not what I wanted. Actually doesn't change anything about the color. Okay. But you can see it's using the background color equal to the foreground color in the text display. Gotta figure out where it's getting those colors from. There's the back button in the inspect dialog. I like the whole color scheme a lot better there. Hmm. Okay, let's another look at this. Back color, title color, value color. Back to the textUtil. Let's see more about how it's creating some of those buttons. It's not setting any kind of color there. And the dialog button is pulling the color it needs from the text display. So we need to have those colors set up when we draw the buttons. That color. Okay, where's it saying the back color? Let's try doing that. And we'll just see what it looks like. You know, one of the problems is that I'm redrawing the entire dialogue instead of one of the button. Let's get back there. Oh no. Let's see. No, that didn't change anything. You're learning a lot though. Learning 100 ways to not place a button on the screen. See here that it's just drawing those buttons. Okay. Like doing the button dot draw is the right way to handle this. Problem with UI development is that you can get lost in the little details. One thing we need to do is like we're tracking the hit, but we're not playing the sound when that happens. I know how to do that easily. Pull that out, now we can use that from the handle key and from the handle mouse. I still hate the color scheme. Dialog button. Button, button, button. It's drawing whatever is set to the back color. No, it's saving the back color. Setting the row. Setting the back color to black. Printing the caption. Restoring the back color. You know, it might actually be doing exactly what it was designed to do. Button left is special character code. Just draws the little graphic for the left side of the button. Should be a button right here also. That. So where is button left and button right come from? It's just to make sure the character values. Okay. And then we have a button function returns a complete printable button. Hmm. So it grabs the background color, rents the left side, sets the background to black, draw the caption, I guess the real question that raises is why is the background here not black? Or right over where the caption is, the foreground is black. Okay, let's go back to that inspected dialog code. So this is saying the text color before it's drawing the button. Let me play with that one more time, and we'll try a couple of these. Set this to something weird just to see what it's doing. It's doing nothing. Oh, wait. Now it is doing something. Got one set of colors before the hit, and then afterwards, the colors have changed. Okay. One of the questions is why is there one set of colors before the run and a different set of colors, or before the click and another set of colors after the click? Handle mouse. Draw content. Oh, we're actually drawing the button in two places. Be part of it. Oh, there we go. Okay. So basically, I think we can use the self text color and self back color, but that we also need to set it down here. Well, Being internally consistent, that's something. Let's see if I can grab the color from the OK button. So we're going to go back to textUtil again, to where it's drawing those buttons. And we're going to see what it's doing to set the color, which I think will make more sense this time. Maybe we just need that in both places. So second got a button color, but then you have the OK button color. Character 10 is the enter key. Let's see this again. It has a weird background there. Coming in on the end here. The back color needs to be the dialog's back color. We need to set it every time we draw a button. The button color is that. That is what the root dialog is using. And we need to set that every single time we start drawing buttons. And there you go. Took longer than I had hoped for, but it does work. And if you do it from the top so that it doesn't have the weird background color, it actually looks halfway decent. Let's make one more change. Title out of the parameters. Title of our dialog is going to be sound editor. Make sure you placed all the sound dialog references with sound editor dialog references. Those unknown. That bit. And we're done. And I'm going to stop there. We'll pick this up next time. All right. See you later.